good evening. Tonight, I'm very happy to welcome Samantha Aubri McCoy live from California. She's a singer, actress, and now she works as a producer for a new network, GBA TTV, correct?
Yes, GBAT
How
TV. Mm-hmm.
GBAT TV. Very good. Hello, Samantha. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. Everything is okay. Thank you very much for joining us on
Well,
the
thank you for
live.
inviting
Uh,
me.
Thank you very much. Tell me, Sam, right now, tell me, how did you first started to feel interest in arts, music, and acting before going to study?
Well, I actually started music very young in life. I probably could sing since I could talk. It was
Uh-huh.
something I always did, and I had my first performance when I was about 3, 4 years old. So
Yes.
it's been in my genes, so to
Uh,
speak, from the beginning.
yes.
That's what.
And when you grew up, you decided to study some music, or did you?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a journey to get there. I mean, I always knew I wanted to do music and be in music. I started composing when I was 13 on
Uh-huh.
my piano that we had in my house that was given to us by my grandfather, who was a musician. My mom sings and she writes music, and my grandfather played piano and organ, and my grandmother played a bunch of different instruments. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad also sang, though he didn't really sing a lot too much when we were kids, when I was young.
Yes.
But he also was very musical, and
Uh-huh.
so that just kind of coalesced into that. And so
Uh-huh.
that kind of journey led me to doing.
Huh.
I sang with a girl when I was a teenager, and then
Huh.
I went. We did a lot of stuff together, and then after that split up, I
Uh-huh.
realized I wanted to learn how to speak the language of music, and so that's when I went to into study.
Great. And I see in your LinkedIn you have a list of, discography. You have a long discography right now.
Mhm.
You been releasing online your music, or did you have some CDs right now? I know everything is online right now.
Everything's online right now,
Uh-huh.
but I do. I mean, I have CDs. I've only released one
Uh-huh.
album that's been my own album. I've been on a bunch of other people's albums, but
Uh-huh.
for my music personally, it's been a long, it's been a long journey. And I released the finished it right as the pandemic hit, and released it as the pandemic hit. So it was
Yes.
really interesting. So yeah, it's all online right now. It's
and
through Spotify, but yeah,
and
it's been
you wrote the lyrics and music, or do you have
Mhm.
other collaborators?
So I have my producer who basically played everything. Like, I play guitar and piano, as you can see by my guitars behind here.
Uh-huh.
But
Yes.
I didn't feel like I was good enough to play everything in studio.
Of course.
And
Uh-huh.
so my producer, he played the instruments and he helped with the arrangements. He wrote a lot of the pieces
Yes.
for the arrangements in them.
Yes.
But I wrote the music and the lyrics, yes.
Yes. Great. And about acting, right
Mhm.
now, I think you did some short films I've seen on the internet movie
Yeah,
database.
I've done a short feature and I've done a bunch of short films. I started acting
Huh.
in 2015, and it's just been
Yes.
a long journey since
Yes.
then. So,
Mm.
yeah, I didn't know
Mm.
I wanted to do acting, especially for film. I've done
Uh-huh.
opera, I've done musicals, since I was a kid, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really think about acting in general because it was something that was just never in my um,
Mm.
purview rather.
Yes.
And so in 2015, I lost my voice. My singing voice is one of the reasons why my album took so long
Really?
finished. Yeah, so I started losing my head voice, and all of my songs are set pretty high because I'm a first soprano. And
Mm-hmm.
so they oftentimes are set very high in the ledger lines of music talk, but the
Yes.
keys are all pretty high for a normal singer. And so unfortunately that resulted in me not being able to sing a lot of them, or it'd be really difficult, and it would just be really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
Yes.
by the end of 2016,
Uh-huh.
I had almost completely lost my upper range. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, 2015. I apologize. In 2015, I
15.
completely.
Yes.
2015, not
Mm-hmm.
16. I mean, it was still difficult, but it wasn't
Uh-huh.
um, like I'd gotten a little bit back, but it was really big, really bad in 2015. Um, and
Yes.
then
What is
subsequently,
something wrong with your vocal cord? I mean, like an infection, or did you practice a lot? You mean you were in studio, or you did live more than without relaxing? So, because I hear that this happens to a lot of singers.
yeah, and I actually went
If
to an
you
ENT.
overworking, I mean,
Mhm.
overworking.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I went to an ENT because I knew. So the type of singing that I learned how to do is classical singing, which is like
Yes.
singing for opera singers. And you
Yes.
learn a lot of things to not put so much pressure on your vocal folds. So
Yes.
a lot of times modern singers, what they're doing is they're squeezing on their larynx, and
Yes.
they're putting so much pressure on their vocal folds to vibrate. So your vocal folds are going like this. That's how they sing. And so a lot of times and they're not using enough breath, and they're using hard epiglottis um, pressure
Yes.
and bringing up the larynx,
Pressure.
and that causes a lot of stress on the vocal folds, which causes
Yes.
noise or
Yes.
cysts in the vocal folds, and causes space, which is why, or less control, which is why the voice can warble, or it
Yes.
can um, the straining often happens. So yes, that is something that we don't want in classical singing. So that is we there's a full body practice called the Alexander technique. There's a few. There's also
Uh-huh.
bello canto singing, which is like about really using the resonance in your face and your body, so you're not putting so much stress on the vocal folds. So when I was going through that, I'm going, what's going on? I'm pretty certain I'm using proper technique. I went to an ENT doctor, and they were like, "Oh, it's GERD. So it's something physically going
Uh-huh.
on with your body. It's not something you're doing." So that was good to
Yes.
know, except I didn't really feel like it was GERD. They gave me medication
Uh-huh.
for it, and
Uh-huh.
it made it worse because it wasn't GERD. It was something else completely entirely, but they thought it was GERD. So it just
Yes.
it made it a little bit better, but then made it completely worse again. So it
Yes.
got even worse. So
Uh-huh.
by the time 2018 came around, it was air. Like that was all that was
Yes.
happening there. So then I went and I switched doctors, and I went to a different doctor, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you have allergies. That's what's causing it."
Yes. Hmm.
So
And yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But how did you how did you get treated? Did you have like other kind of treatment?
yeah. So they ended up with the second doctor that I had that looked at it. I went completely off of the medication that they put me on for GERD. I'd already gone off of it because it wasn't helping anything, and all it was doing was making everything else more whacked, my body
Yes.
more strained and out of alignment, including my thyroid, which ended up really getting out of control because of a lot of the medication that they put me on, and a number of other attributes. So that was also adding to the stress in the vocal folds.
Uh-huh.
um, so she put me on a regimen of stuff to help my thyroid, and also allergy medication, which
Uh-huh.
helped a lot. So now I can sing. I got most of my range back, and I
Great.
and it's gotten a lot stronger and clearer. Yeah. So, and it was nice
And
to
you,
know that it
you
wasn't
you
something I was doing
recorded
personally.
You recorded the album after this problem, okay?
during
Right? You
during the
recorded
problem and after. Some of it,
during it.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
some of it is recorded during the issues, and it just was like, is this a good day? Can I do it? Is my
Yes.
voice is it working? Is it in have I and
Uh-huh.
of course warming up is a really big step to it, but so I try to make sure I warm up. But it was frustrating. It was really frustrating,
Mm,
and
of
the
course.
first time I was actually able to hit certain notes that I hadn't been able to hit in years, like it was
Uh-huh.
um it was really therapeutic.
Excellent.
I always cry in the studio
Yes.
because I get really emotional, especially when you're doing your own music, since it's a extremely emotional language.
Yes.
Emotions come up, and I'm an easy crier, I guess. So good. But
Uh,
it's therapeutic.
yes. Listen, the guitars behind you are very tempting. Can we hear something from the album right now?
Yeah, I'm not a great player, but we can certainly hear something.
Yes.
Now it sounds really different.
Of course.
Hey there, Mr. Baggins, the adventure is out there. Beyond your round door, you just believe. Hold up in your hobbit hole, shut out from the world. It seems to pass you by, convincing yourself you're happy. It's a sorry. See, as I said, I'm not very good. It's been a while since I practiced it.
Yes.
Sorry, and this is
So,
very awkward where I have it sitting. Um, Let me do another one that I
sure,
have much better. I was trying to give you a one that people don't hear often on the album because it's a secret song,
sure,
but apparently I need to practice a little more. I've been busy working on another project, so
sure.
these songs unfortunately have gone off the rails, so to speak. I was not expecting to play today, so I didn't practice. This is part of the
Yes.
problem.
Mhm.
Try to think, what did I want to do now? Because I was going to do that, but now I can't remember where it's supposed to. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me just try this one again. Hey there, Mr. Baggins, the adventure is out there beyond your round door. You just believe. Hold up in your hobbit hole, shut out from the world. Dipping your tea. Shoot. I'm sorry. My brain is like not wanting to work today.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But
Sorry
you
about
you
that,
t- you
guys.
t-
I just
no, it's
I
okay.
was not prepared, and I'm not
Yes. In the
my
mood.
brain like I'm
But
much better singer than I am like when I play and sing if I haven't practiced.
yes,
So let me just sing it to you. But I mean I love the way she sounds. Let me just sing it to you
of course. Of
a
course.
cappella because it's much easier for
Yes.
me to do that.
Sure.
So yeah, so hey there, Mr. Baggins, the adventure is out there beyond your round door. You just believe. Hold up in your hobbit hole, shut out from the world that seems to pass you by, convincing yourself you're happy. It's a dangerous business you want to say. Sipping your tea as you gaze out your window longingly. It's okay, Mr. Baggins, I'll be your Gandalf, taking you from the simple life to an adventure that awaits. May not be the misty mountains or the mines of Moria or lovely Rivendell, but the sights are as breathtaking as trees of Lothlorien or Lane, where Luthien dances, wooing Baran. Come away with me, Mr. Baggins. I'll set you free. Come and take my hand. Go on this journey with me. You'll not return. You'll not return as the same lad you once were. It's a dangerous business stepping out your front door. It's a dangerous business stepping out your front door. There you go. As I said, it's much better when you don't have an instrument.
Yes. Great. Right now, Aubrey, when we connected, you told me about your new post as a producer in it's
Yes.
GBAT TV, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me before you told me about your work there, tell me about about the mission or vision of this new network.
So GBAT TV is about highlighting. It's called Greater Bay Area Artists TV.
Uh-huh.
So it's about highlighting artistic pursuits and the artists, and it's like things that are pursued by artists and by people who consume those subjects that people wouldn't normally pursue. Like, for instance, there's a show called What's Up, Doc, and it's about boats. It's about the
Yes.
dock life, the living that.
Uh-huh.
There's another one that's about YX chromosomes, which, I mean, these are not necessarily art shows, but they're shows that are interests that people who are part of that community want to see. They're more highlighting people that wouldn't necessarily be highlighted, or things that are not necessarily highlighted, like Y chromosome sports is about women in sports. And one of our producers
Yes.
is someone who is on like Ninja Warrior, who is a person who is very athletic, and she goes and interviews other women who are in sports or are in those
Yes.
fields that are generally male dominated fields.
Yes.
So there's that one. There's also the one I'm producing, which is Music Maker Bios, which is about people in music who don't necessarily who aren't on the bigger platforms yet, that are trying to get their music out. And that's what my show is. It will be that I'm producing anyways. It's not my show, but that I'm show running.
Yes.
It will show like their history. It'll be interviews. It will be along that nature. So
Great.
that's what it's about.
Yes,
It's
but
run by someone.
right now it's I see the website has some shows. Right now, for the time being, it is free, or did you launch like a subscription model?
Right now it's free.
Mhm.
From what I know, our executive producer, the one who runs
Yes.
GBAT, it's kind of his passion project. He does want to generate income, and
Mhm.
that is done by a certain way. I'm not going to really go into that, but right now
Mhm.
it is free. I don't know if some point he's going to do a subscription base, but it's so that he can turn all of that around and go to high schools and colleges and help people get into into this industry,
Yes.
like by scholarship. So he
Yes,
wants to turn
which
that
is
around,
great.
invest in the company, and invest in the future generation. So he's got a very
Great
noble,
initiative.
he's
Mhm.
got a noble initiative for it. That's the goal.
Great. Yes. And right now, since when it was launched on the internet? Since when? Since when?
It was
It was.
launched in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been around for a while. They were getting traction, and then COVID hit.
Of course, of
So they
course.
had a whole bunch of shows slotted to go. They had big investors. There was a lot of things happening, um, and then it just all went, it all shut down.
Yes. Right now, as a producer, right now, Aubrey, on your show,
Hmm.
what will be your task? Will be like looking for talents to present it, like a scouting talent,
Yes,
or yes,
some
you
of
will
it.
look for
Some of it
talents,
is.
some of it.
So
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I
No,
don't
no,
mean
no,
to.
it's okay. Yes, because I think it's a great initiative. I think your show is part of the general vision and mission of the platform.
Yes.
Because you will focus on what you will do, which is music, and
Hmm.
the rest of the network will focus on other aspect, on other professional practices, right?
Yes. We do have an
Great.
artist there who there are other shows. I was just highlighting a few, but there are other
Yes,
shows on there. Like there's a business show, there's a art show, there's a health show that are all in the
yes,
works. So my job as a producer is to I'm also the host of the show, but is it's to
great.
um, get interview dates for the interviewees, get the questions because there's usually a set of questions that you send out.
Yes,
It's being a part of looking at how the show is run, is edited and run, and all that. That's part of the producer's job. Also, to make sure
yes,
everything stays in a timely manner and where the funds that we do have go for that. Though that's mainly the executive producer's job. I'm just getting the people, getting the talent, and lining up the
yes,
interviews. That's a lot of my tasks at the moment, as well as
yes.
interviewing people for the show.
Great. Of course. Yes, from my side, I look forward to see the episodes that you will
Yeah.
be hosting. But tell me about yourself. What will be your plans in the next period as a singer, actress, beside the work on the network?
So I've been working on quite a few projects. I just finished composing music for a small little Halloween project, and
Yes,
I've done some auditions because auditioning's coming back. I
yes,
am working on my next album now that my voice
great.
has been pretty much recovered. I am working on that. Yes, I've gotten one song almost finished. I'm starting on a second one, which is in the works right now. I have a third one lined up. Got more
Yes,
songs lined up as well. I've been starting a
great.
band,
Mm-hmm.
and
Great.
I'm getting this one going. And also, I also work for a karaoke uh, business, so I also host karaoke shows. So that's what I'm doing right
Yes.
now.
We used to have a karaoke program in Egyptian television from where I
Hmm.
am, called
Hmm.
Karaoke Show, and I love it. And myself, when I go to a karaoke place with my wife, you know, I I love music, of course, and I know by heart a lot of music from especially 70s, 80s, 90s, because
Hmm.
I'm born 71, so this
Okay.
is the kind of music I like, the rock of the 70s, the slow rock, some metal group, of course, the pop of the 80s,
Hmm.
and the new wave like Depeche Mode, and
Hmm.
so yeah. I love karaoke. Where you can, it is a way for you not to sing only under the shower if you are not a singer.
It is. It's also for me a lot of I've seen some musicians go, well, you do
Mhm.
karaoke, and I just go, why do you look at it that way? It's one,
Yes.
you're performing in front of people and random people a lot of times. It's a
Uh-huh.
good way to practice your art. I look at it as
Of course.
practice. I mean, going through and doing those, you're singing, you're doing your craft. Why not do it for
Yes.
people?
Of
that
course.
makes people happy, that brings happiness. When I host, my big thing about it is that everybody's enjoying it, everyone's having fun, everyone's listening to each other, and you're encouraging each other, and there's something that changes in the room when that happens. There's a
Yes.
light that happens. And to me, music is about expressing joy or sadness or your emotions in that.
Yes.
And how do you best convey? I mean, isn't the point to perform? Isn't that what we're supposed to be as artists and musicians? We're supposed to perform. And when I'm performing, when it's not just me, I mean, yes, this is online, but there's like something to be said when it's just me and another person versus a whole crowd. There's something that changes for me in that,
Yes.
and I'm a much
Hmm.
better artist when I'm performing for a crowd.
Of course.
And because there's something very personal when it's one person versus another. But being a karaoke host is harder than a lot of people think. But doing
Yes.
karaoke is also a lot harder than people think, because you are oftentimes doing songs on the fly. And as an artist, if you are a professional singer, you have to do those things well, regardless.
Yes.
And for me,
Yes.
why not do it under karaoke? There's no pressure. It's fun, and you feel good at the end of it. I've had people walk up to me in karaoke when I would go and do it. People would walk up to me and be like, "I felt your soul in that." And it
Hmm.
completely like touched me. People that were not listening, that had been across the end, whole other end of the bar, or the place where the karaoke is happening, the restaurant, the place where it was, and they were like, "That really moved me," and that should be the point of music. Yes, I do think that artists should be paid, and I do think that my work is important, and I should at least live as an artist.
Hmm.
But we're meant to spread joy and happiness as an artist. That's our reason for doing art, is to
Yeah.
reveal the human expression in the human soul. And if we can't do that as artists, what's the point? If you're doing it for money, don't do it. Just don't, because you're
Yeah.
not going to make it anyways. If that's all you're doing, because that's not what music or any type of art's about. If you do it because you love it, that passion, money will follow regardless. I mean, I've done where I've gone to a karaoke thing for for no, just because, and someone gave me money afterwards because they were like, "I was so moved, I feel like I should pay you." And I'm like, "You don't have to pay me." They're like, "No, no, let me give you something because that was amazing." That type of, it gives its own rewards. That's what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh. Yes. Of course. And if you notice recently on Spotify, they started to put synchronized lyrics with the music.
Hmm.
You are listening to, or to the songs, which will help you as well practicing karaoke.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, as I said,
So
like I've gotten a lot of my voice back,
yes.
um, and the strength and power just practicing, just doing karaoke a lot, because I
Uh-huh.
use it as practice. And
Yes.
I don't do easy songs. I do a lot of really hard
Hmm.
songs by a lot of really big musicians. Like I do Michael Jackson because he's kind of one of my big influences. You could tell I have the red Michael Jackson jacket on right now.
Of course, beat
I
it.
mean,
Yes.
it's not quite, but it's very much. Everyone looks and they're like,
Yes.
"Oh, is that the Michael Jackson red Thriller
Of
jacket?" I'm
course.
like,
From
"Yes,
beat it. From beat it. Beat
yes,
it.
from
Beat it. Beat
Beat It."
it.
That's
Yes.
what they also say, is the Beat It jacket. I have so many jackets. I have a white one. I've got
Mhm.
so many, because that's just kind of my thing. But people recognize me
Of
because of
course.
the jackets. So,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I have people that follow me around, and they really enjoy what I do, and they love hearing me sing. And I'll take requests as well.
Of course.
As I said, I'll do songs that are big in the industry. Like I'll do Mariah Carey. People request it. I'll do Michael Jackson. I'll do Queen. I'll
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
Celine Dion. I'll do Amy Lee from Evanescence. I'll do all of those songs, and those are not easy people to
Hmm.
sing. They're
Of
technically
course.
difficult. They're Whitney Houston is also a really big crowd pleaser. I also do Whitney Houston,
Of course, of
and through
course.
doing her music,
Yes. We,
actually has really helped
especially her
gain.
first five, six albums, they were very special in
Yes.
music, in
Hmm.
lyrics, and also Mariah Carey. I love her first five or six albums
Yeah,
when
she's
she
great.
began, because they defined their character, their musical character with these albums.
Yeah, that's why you
Of
do
course.
the albums, especially if you're writing your own. Now, the thing is that what is different is with some of them, some of the artists, they're not singer songwriters, and that's what some people mistake when they think of, oh, these artists are also doing their own music. They're
Yes.
not. The industry is really different. You have songwriters,
Uh-huh.
in a lot of, especially in popular music, they have writers, and then they send them in, and then the label company will give them to and produce them to certain artists. Now, singer
Yes.
songwriters, it is different, and that really is true. Like people like Queen, he wrote a lot of his own music, especially as a band,
Of
because that
course. Of course.
bands are a little different. But if you have pop
Of
artists,
course.
they're not always writing their own music. Michael Jackson was different. He was an anomaly in that. But Whitney Houston didn't write her own music. Mariah Carey didn't write her own music until I
Yes,
think
yes.
later.
They have very strong
They do.
collaborators.
Yes.
I mean, producer, music, and lyrics,
Mhm.
and studio engineers.
Yep.
To have their own style.
It,
Well,
it is.
Samantha or Aubrey
Aubrey, please,
McCoy,
Aubrey.
Aubrey, listen, was very happy with this interview, and I wish
Yeah.
you the best of luck in your musical and acting career. And
Thank you.
don't forget to send me the first links of your show.
Okay.
You know,
Absolutely, I will.
very happy to see it and review it on my site as well.
And if I'm sorry, shameless promotion. This is my album.
Yes,
It's called Unexpected
yes,
Journey. You can find it on Spotify. You have to look it up under my
yes,
name, Aubri McCoy. But please go and listen
great,
to those songs. They're songs I've written from the time I was 17
of
to
course.
now. Not now, but you know what I mean, like till to like the songs I had written many, many, but these are the ones that made it on the first album. They're
Hmm.
from the time I was a teenager to like,
Yes,
you know, so it's a growth. It's a journey. They're all different genres. There's usually something that
of
someone
course.
can find in them. I love them all. They're like my babies. They're like my children.
Yes,
So
of course. It's a very
let's
personal
back into
debut
yours.
album.
Yeah, it is. There's something really special. I really think though that my second album will probably be better. But my first one,
Yes,
you're
for sure.
trying to figure out what your musical style is, what you
Of
do. I mean, they
course.
all sound like me, but they're all very different in genre.
Yes.
So,
Hmm.
and it was like, this is the range of stuff I do. This is what I can do. This is what I can write. And but this one, the next one has kind of more of a clearer, more focused goal that I want to do. And so the music that I'm writing is going towards that. It's still a little bit like, well, I had intended this to sound this way, but it's not coming out this way.
Great.
If that makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Aubrey. Best
Thank you.
wishes to
Yeah.
you, and I look forward for your upcoming projects in the next year and furthermore.
Thank you. And I look forward to
Uh,
interviewing you. I'm really interested in finding out about you.
sure, for sure. I'm an interesting guy as well.
That's it.
Yes. Take
You have a
care. Have
wonderful
a
day.
lovely evening. Take
You too.
care. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye. Ciao.
Ciao.